This video is for educational and entertainment only. My goal is to inform others about the true horrors of manufacturing, selling, and being addicted to methamphetamines for over 20 years, and only getting caught once 5 years ago. I've been clean from all substances ever since that day. I cannot confirm or deny that any of these stories ever happened or that I have made over 25,000 drug deals since the mid-90s. Maybe I'm just a guy with a very good imagination who can make up incredible stories with amazing continuity throughout many dates and timelines. It took me 5 years for me to get a clear head in order to even think about these stories without them triggering me or urging me to return to the life I led for so many years. By viewing the contents of this video or any other video of mine, you agree to not attempt or recreate anything seen or heard while viewing them. I am not confessing to any acts stated in this video. The contents of this video should not be treated as factual or a confession. All names have been changed to protect the innocent and the guilty. Enjoy.
Hello, everybody. This story takes place June 6th, 2010. It was on a Sunday, and I was planning to pay my dealer the next day because I fronted an ounce of meth from him and he wanted his money. The only problem was that I was $200 short, so I did what I always did. I jumped in my truck. Yes, I actually had my driver's license. So I jumped in my truck and headed out to look for scrap metal. I would usually go check out behind plumbing companies or heating and air conditioning companies and anywhere that I had a chance of finding copper. We called that tweaker gold. At the time, copper was fetching about $3 or more per pound. So as luck would have it, the very first plumbing company I stopped at, I checked the dumpster, and inside was about 30 pounds of copper pipe. That's cool because now I only have to come up with another $100. So I grab it out, throw it in my truck. Then I notice that a camera is pointing right at me. But the dumpster is outside the fence, so I know that I can't get in trouble. So as I begin to get in my truck, I notice that right beside the dumpster is a huge square air conditioning unit, except it looks different than any that I've seen in the past. Whatever it is, it has two huge copper pipes sticking out of it. So I look inside the vents and I see a huge tank of some kind that is made of thick copper. The fact that it's outside the fence, I figure it ripe for the picking. So I back up the truck and drop the tailgate. I try to lift it, but it's too fucking heavy for just one guy. I try and try, but I just can't lift it. So I go home and have supper, but I can't stop thinking that there must be at least $300 worth of copper sitting there, and I still owed my dude $100. And I can't stand owing anybody money. So I jump in my truck and I stop by my buddy Troy's house and ask him if he wants to make $20 for 10 minutes work. He bargains with me and we agree to $20 and a bowl full of meth. So we get in the truck and I explain to him that what we need to do is not illegal and that he cannot get in trouble. So when we get there, I hand him a baseball cap to put on and pull the bill down as far as he can. By now, he's getting a little nervous. And I assure him that he has nothing to worry about as long as he keeps moving and doesn't look into the camera. You see, the surveillance cameras in them days had lousy autofocus. So if you just kept moving, then the video would be blurry. I had on a different hat than I did previously that afternoon, so the plan was simple. We were going to drop the tailgate before we got there. Then we would back up to the AC unit or whatever it was. And then we would both walk back behind my truck, keeping our heads down to hide our faces from the camera, while we keep moving to screw with the autofocus. Although everything was outside of the fence, I still got a gut feeling that we should take these extra precautions because something didn't feel right. I mean, really, why would a plumbing company throw away copper into their dumpster and leave such a valuable item outside of their gate? I mean, every plumbing company has a recycling procedure. So anyways, it's June 6th, and me and my buddy turn around and back up to the unit. We get out and walk back with his back to the camera. I'm facing the camera, but my hat is pulled past my eyebrows, and I have sunglasses on. We each take a side of it, and we lift it up into my truck. I had a topper on my truck at the time, and the box was the box of my truck was all cluttered and full of all kinds of crap. So then we drive away and we go to his house and we take the unit apart and we find out that what we had was a huge solid copper pot with 2 copper pipes coming out of it, along with a solid copper manifold. The manifold alone weighed like 25 pounds. I estimate that all the copper weighs about 120 pounds. My buddy is pissed, so I throw him another $20 and I give him some more meth. So then I take the unit, I take the copper pot in my truck, I go home, and I go to bed. Now, I should take the time right now and explain to you all that at this particular time in my life, things aren't going so good for me and my family. Myself and my family of 5, plus a German Shepherd, are living in the basement of my parents' Rambler with a single tuck-under garage. So the next morning, it's Monday, and it's first week of summer vacation for my 2 daughters and my 3-year-old son. I'm 46 years old at the time. I'm unemployed, selling drugs full-time, and my parents are retired and living upstairs. My children are anticipating doing something fun with Dad on their first day of summer vacation. So I tell them that I got to run to the scrapyard, but I'll be right back. So I go to the scrapyard and cash in my copper. They handed over $450 for 150 pounds of copper. I now had the $100 that I needed to pay off my dude with plenty left over. So by the time I got home, my wife had went to work, and in my pocket I had $350 cash, plus a bag of meth and a glass pipe loaded with meth. So I headed into the bathroom where I was just about to get all smoked up, when all of a sudden I hear my dad stomping on the floor upstairs. So I yell for my 10-year-old daughter, and when she comes to the bathroom door, I tell her to go see who it is, because when my dad stomps on the floor, that means someone is here to see me. So when she comes back, she sounds really scared, and she says, "Dad, the police are here." So I told her that her and the rest of them stay in the house and that I will be out in a minute. I calmly put my $350 in the cabinet, along with my pipe and my meth, and head out through the garage. I have no idea what they want, but what I do know is that my pockets are empty, my drugs and paraphernalia along with the cash are in the bathroom closet with a stack of towels on top of them, and that big copper pot is miles away. I also knew that shit was about to get real. So I walk outside. There's a cop car outside and 2 cops, and I walked out and I said, "Can I help you?" And they said, "Is this your truck?" I said, "Yeah." And one of them says, "Do you mind if I look inside the back?" I said, "Yeah, go ahead. I don't care." So they're both searching the truck. They're looking inside of it, and one of them gets on the police radio and says, "Nope, it's not here." So at that moment, I knew that they were looking for that copper unit. And I said, "Can I help you? What are you looking for?" And they said, "Well, we got you in your truck on video taking copper from a plumbing company." And I said, "Really? Well, where is it?" And they said, "Well," they said, "it's not our jurisdiction. We're leaving, but the cop from the next town is going to be here, and he'll take over." I said, "Okay." So I'm waiting outside, and sure enough, here comes another police car. He gets out, and this police officer is really, pulling the old hard ass routine, and he's saying, "Yeah, so we got you on video, and if you want, we can go and take a look at that video, and it shows you in your truck stealing copper, and And I said, from such and such a plumbing place. And I said, no, I was there yesterday and I took copper out of the dumpster. And it was in the dumpster, so it's fair game, you know. So he goes, well, why don't you get in the back of the cop car, and we will go and watch that video together. I said, sure, sounds good to me, because I knew he didn't have shit. I knew that he didn't see my face. So I get in the back of the cop car. My kids are in the house. Mom and dad are looking out the window, and so we start driving, and I'm in handcuffs, and the cop says, "Yeah, we're not going to go to look at that video. We're going to go out to the sheriff's department, and we're going to book you in on felony theft." And I was kind of a smart ass. I said, "Are we really going out there, or not? Because you just told me we were going to watch a video, and we didn't do that. So are we really going out there?" And he didn't really like that, but so we went out there, and he said he was going to give me a ride back, because it was about 15 miles away. So we get out there. Of course, they search me. I had nothing on me, and they book me in, and then they release me. He doesn't give me the ride back to my house like he promised. So I had to call a friend. My friend came and picked me up, and I go home, and I was just charged with felony theft. So I go home. I'm not worried about it. It's all good. After all, I did do nothing illegal. I took copper out of a dumpster. So then that night, I get a phone call, and somebody tells me that it's on the radio and in the newspaper that I admitted to stealing a copper, what they called a copper air dryer. So the thing I stole was actually a copper air dryer, but I didn't steal it. It was outside the fence. So it's an air dryer, and they valued it at $600. So, to have your name on the radio and in the newspaper, it was really weird. You just at that moment, I really figured out what they meant by the power of the press. I mean, I couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable that so the policeman, he went to the radio station and told them this, and that's basically malice, really. So now I'm just really, really fucking pissed. So I get the court date, and at this time, my buddy Troy is shaking like a fucking leaf. He's scared shitless, and I told him, I said, don't worry, I got this. So my first court date is scheduled, and I show up, and I plead not guilty, and they give me a public defender, and that's it. So the next court case I go in, the next court date I go in, and I meet my public defender, and she's a female, and I walk in, and she says, "So we got you on video, stealing a big air dryer of some kind. Is that it?" And I said, "No, that's not it. There is no video. I haven't seen it yet. Everybody keeps saying that we're going to see a video." She goes, "Oh, we'll see the video." I said, "Okay, I'm ready to see the video." And then she said, "Okay, I'll get the video, and we will watch it together at our next court date." I said, "Okay, sounds good." So time goes on. Troy is still sweating his nuts off. So next court date, I go in, and she says, "Well, we don't have a video, so let me get this straight. You we got your truck on video." I said, "Well, I'd like to see the video." because I admitted to finding the copper inside the dumpster. I admitted to that. And as far as this other air dryer goes, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, we have your truck coming there and picking it up with you and someone else. And I told her right there, I said, no, wait a minute. I said, you're going to have to keep this investigation going right now because I was home in bed sleeping with my wife when this happened. So maybe a couple of my friends, when I got home that afternoon, I told 3 or 4 of my friends about this big copper whatever that was outside the gate, and then I went to bed. So maybe they came and they borrowed my truck, but as far as me being there, maybe my truck was there, but I was not there. So you might as well just keep investigating it. And I talked to my 3 buddies, and they denied borrowing my truck. So I don't know, but so that kind of pissed her off, and because as anybody knows, that to have your wife say that you were home in bed sleeping with her is about as ironclad as you can get as far as an alibi. So then she said, okay, we're going to take it to jury trial. I said, that sounds good to me. And I went home. And at this time, my mom and dad are pissed. My wife's pissed. My kids are wondering what the fuck's going on. So I keep telling my mom and dad, I say, hey, don't worry. I didn't do it. I didn't do nothing wrong. I'm not going to jail. I'm not going to prison. Don't worry about it. So I don't know, as you know, I don't know if all of you know how public defenders work. But public defenders work for the county, they work for the courts, and each public defender has a caseload of about maybe seven or eight people, and their job is to defend you, but if they can get you to plead guilty, they get a bonus. It's a fucked up way, but it's the way it works. So I waited to about 3 days before jury trial. I get a phone call, and I say, hello, who is this? And she said, this is so-and-so, your public defender. I said, oh, hi, how's it going? She says, your case has been dismissed. Click. Just like that, nothing else. And just like that, it was over. And that was that. So now, one would think that after an experience like that I would have highly considered giving up the life. But in my self-centered, meth-addicted, morally corrupt mind, it just empowered me and made me feel unstoppable. And I was pissed. I was embarrassed by being on the radio. And let's just say I was going to go on a tear, and yeah, but what meth really does to a person is it turns you into a big fucking liar. That day, I lied to my kids, my parents, the cops. I scared the shit out of my kids, and my parents, and my neighbors, and it's not a good way to live. So if you enjoyed this video, leave a like or a comment, and please subscribe. Peace.